And let me just grab the link for the YouTube live stream. Looks like it's going to take just a little bit. All right. So let me grab that link. If you want to watch the session on YouTube, you can do so at the following link over here. But if you want to stay in Zoom, that's perfectly fine as well. It's just another option for everybody. Okay, so let's start. So this is HackerFrog's After School Linux OS Operations Intro. So we're going to be introducing the course. HackerFrog's After School is a cybersecurity program for learning beginners' cybersecurity skills across a wide variety of subjects. This is the intro to Linux OS operations. So what is Linux? Like Windows and Mac OS, Linux is a computer operating system, otherwise known as an OS. However, unlike Windows and Mac OS, Linux is free and open source, which means that source code can be viewed and potentially modified by anybody. So this is very different from Windows and Mac OS, where it's not free and you can't modify the code. So Linux is a modular OS. That means that software components can be very easily added, updated, or removed to fit the user's needs. This has led to the development of different distributions, otherwise known as variations of Linux, that cater to different groups of users. Specifically, cybersecurity-oriented distributions of Linux exist, which are ideal for cybersecurity student use. So when we're learning cybersecurity, there are versions of Linux that are catered to cybersecurity, so that's one of the reasons why we learn Linux. So why are we learning Linux for cybersecurity? First of all, Linux is easily accessible to students since it's free. Many cybersecurity tools and software are available to Linux users. Most of these software are free, and cybersecurity-oriented distributions of Linux are readily available. So for all these reasons, we learn Linux when we learn about cybersecurity. So second of all, you're going to hear a lot about CTFs when we're talking about cybersecurity exercises, and HackerFrog's after-school classes prefer to incorporate CTF games into classes for a more interactive experience. But what are CTFs? So cybersecurity Capture the Flag, CTF games, are training exercises where the goal of the exercise is to capture the flag through use of cybersecurity skills. In this context, capture means to gain access to a file or other resource, and flag refers to a secret phrase or password. The CTF game we will be playing to learn basic Linux skills is called picoctf. It's a well-known education platform with challenges across many different cybersecurity disciplines. So in order to participate in picoctf challenges, we need a registered account on the website. We can sign up at the following link. So I see we have a new student who's in here, and I'm just going to ask them if they have made their picoctf account yet. Have you made your picoctf account? Okay, so we're going to start our HackerFrog's After School workshop now, and in the workshop we're going to be learning about Linux through the picoctf platform. So let us begin. So the first thing we need to do when we're interacting with Linux is, first of all, we need to log into our picoctf website. So we need to open after we've logged in, so everybody should be logged into picoctf and be at the practice page. So the practice page is accessible over here, and okay, so it seems that we need the registration link. So I'm going to provide the registration link to the user who asked for it. Okay. And we all want to go to the practice page after we've logged in. So the practice page is located right here. All right, so everybody, if you are logged into your picoctf account and you're on the practice page, just like over here, let's make this a little bit bigger, maybe a little bit smaller. Okay, if you're there, please type in the chat, I'm ready to practice, and then a smiley face. So if you're on this page right here, after you've logged into your picoctf website, please type in the chat, I'm ready to practice. Okay, so we've got some people coming in, they're ready to practice. That is great. Okay, so once we are here, and if you oh, somebody is chatting on the YouTube chat. Hello. And nice to see, nice to see. Okay, so what we're doing now is we are going to, the first thing we need to do is open our command line interface. Okay, so I'm not going to need to ban you. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is open our command line interface terminal, CLI terminal. After logging into picoctf, we can access the web shell. So the web shell is what we're going to be using to access Linux. Okay, so over at picoctf, what you're going to want to do is going to want to scroll down, and then you're going to see this button over here. So this button is labeled Web Shell. So click on the Web Shell button, and then you're going to see this picoctf Web Shell window pop up. So after it pops up, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to click on this button right here, which is labeled Pop Out Web Shell Terminal. So when you click on Pop Out Web Shell Terminal, that's going to put the web shell in its own browser tab. And that's what we want. If you don't see anything come up after a few seconds, that means that it didn't quite work. So what you're going to want to do is close that tab and then click on Web Shell again and try again. So you're going to want to click on this button right here, Pop Out Web Shell Terminal. If it doesn't work the first time, try it again. But if it works, you're going to see that the web shell is in full screen like this. And it'll say, welcome to the picoctf web shell. Okay, I see we have some new students coming in. I'm going to ask them if they have their picoctf account. Okay, and this is what we want. We want to be on the we want to have our web shell in its own browser tab, just like this. Okay, so somebody else has said that they do not have picoctf account, so I'm going to get the link for them. Okay. All right. So to everybody else, if you're having trouble opening up the web shell, let us know in the chat. But if you've managed to open up the web shell and you see that you have your username -picoctf at webshell over here, please type in the chat, I opened the web shell and made it full screen. Smiley face. So once again, let's talk about what steps we did to do this. So we clicked on the web shell button over here, and after we clicked on the web shell button over here, it's found on the practice web page, and it's located in the upper right corner of the web page. If we can't see it, we should scroll down until it appears. So after opening the web shell, we should click on the pop-out web shell terminal button, which is located right over here after you've opened up the web shell, the small one. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to learn how to connect to another computer using the SSH program inside of Linux. So this is an important program to learn about, and this is going to be our first time using the Linux terminal, so we're going to go nice and slow. So after logging into picoctf and opening the web shell, putting it in the separate browser tab, we're going to navigate to the following web page to access the Super SSH challenge. So the Super SSH challenge, let me grab the link for that. Okay, so the Super SSH challenge is just over here. Actually, everybody, if you want to take a look at the challenges we're going to be doing today, it is located right over here. And at this page, you're going to be able to find all the links we're using today for the challenges. So I'm going to copy this challenge and put it in the chat for everybody. And what I want you to do is click on that link, and it'll bring you to the Super SSH challenge. Okay, so after you go to the link, the challenge page is going to open up over here. So this is an example of what picoctf challenges look like. And there's going to be the title of the challenge and then a description of the challenge over here. So it says using a secure shell SSH is going to be pretty important. Additional details will be available after launching your challenge instance. So for this challenge, there's a virtual machine, basically a cloud server that you're going to have to boot up in order to complete the challenge. So after you've opened up this page, there's going to be this blue button over here that's labeled Launch Instance. So you just need to click on that. And then after a few seconds, the text on the description is going to change. And now it's going to say, can you SSH as CTF player to titan.picoctf.net at port something 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 to get the flag? So what we're going to do here is we're going to log into another computer using the SSH program. So this is so what we're going to do. So this is what we're going to do. So just let me pull up my slides. Okay, so after clicking on the blue Start Instance button, we are given information that we can use to log into the remote server using SSH. So we're given a username, which is CTF player. We're given a server name, which is titan.picoctf.net. And we're given a port number to connect on, which is a port number and a password. So the port number and the password are different for each person, so I didn't write those down, but we're going to need all this information to log into another server using the SSH program. Okay, so back at the picoctf challenge page, this text is very important. So what you want to do is highlight all of it. So beginning at the word SSH and until the end of the port number over here, I want you to use your mouse and highlight all this text. After you've highlighted all the text, you want to right-click and then select Copy. So that's going to copy all of this text. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go to our web shell. And so after you haven't been using the web shell for a few minutes, it's going to disconnect you. So you just need to click on it and then hit the return key or the enter key on your keyboard to reconnect to the server. Okay, so here's another handy tip on the Linux server. So anytime you've got a bunch of text on your screen and you don't want to see it anymore, you just need to type the word clear and then hit the enter key, and that's going to wipe out all the text on your screen and send you back up to the top. So after you've done that, or maybe you don't want to do it, that's fine. What you need to do is right click and then select paste. And what that's going to do is it's going to paste in all the text that we copied previously. So what we need to do now is we need to edit this information over here. So we actually have all the information we need to log into the server using SSH. The first thing we need to do is we need to use our arrow keys. So there's the up, down, and left, right, the arrow keys on your keyboard. Just use your left and right arrow keys to move your cursor around and move it all the way back up to SSH. So when you arrive here at SSH, you just need to delete the word as. So press it 3 times, and then you're going to see SSH CTF player. So just after the R in CTF player, go over one space and then use the @ symbol. So the @ symbol is the shifted version of the number 2 on your keyboard. So you add the @ symbol and then you delete everything until the word Titan over here. So what we're doing is we're creating a username CTF player at titan.picoctf.net. So after that, we're going to delete these words over here, and then we're going to type dash or minus P. So minus P is going to let us provide the port number. So what we're doing with the SSH program is we're going to connect to a server on this port number. This is the name of the port right here, titan.picoctf.net. And the name of the user we're going to log in as is CTF player. And we use the @ symbol over here to indicate that this is the username and this is the password over here. Okay? So everybody, so your command should look something like this. And I'm going to provide this to everybody in the chat. So just keep in mind, the one thing that's going to be different is the port number. So you see that number, it might not be this port number for you, because in the challenge description, it gives you a random port number to connect on. So just keep that in mind. So after you've edited your SSH program command over here, I want you to hit the enter key. So after you hit the enter key, you're going to try to connect to the server using this username and this port number over here. It's going to ask you, are you sure you want to continue connecting? You're going to answer yes. So just type YES on the keyboard and then hit enter. And then it's going to ask you for the password. So for the password, you're going to want to go up to your picoctf challenge, and then right over here in the challenge description, you'll also need this password, and the password is right here. I want you to highlight it. Make sure you don't highlight the period at the end. So just highlight these characters right here, and it's probably going to be different characters for everybody. After you've highlighted it, right-click, select copy, and then go over to the web shell. In the web shell, I want you to right-click and select paste. When you click on paste, you're not going to see anything on the screen, and that's normal. That's normal behavior. Just hit the paste button over here, and then hit enter. Okay? And after you hit enter, then you're going to see this response. Welcome, CTF player. Here is your flag. So remember we were talking about capture the flag, and this is an example of a flag. So for picoctf, all the flags in picoctf start with the word picoctf, and then the contents of the flag are contained within these curly braces right here, these curly brackets. So, user D says that they completed the challenge. That's great to hear. Okay, so what you want to do to finish the challenge is you want to take your picoctf flag over here and highlight it. After you have it highlighted, right-click and select Copy. Then go to the challenge page, and in the challenge page, at the bottom of the challenge page, there's going to be this field right over here, and this is called the flag submission field. Every picoctf challenge has one. You want to click on it and then paste in the flag. And then after the flag is pasted in, you want to click on this blue Submit Flag button. And once you've done that, it's going to say you solved the challenge. Okay, so everybody, let's if you manage to successfully complete the challenge, please type in the chat, I submitted the flag, smiley face. But if you were having any sort of trouble connecting to the challenge or issuing the this SSH command or logging in, please let us know in the chat, and we'll try to help you out before we move on to the next challenge, okay? Okay, so user M says, I messed something up and missed what happened. Okay, so user M, if you could tell us what step you last did, then we can try to help you out, okay? All right, so to everybody else, inside of the terminal, there are a couple of easy commands that all people who use Linux like to do. So first of all, there's the clear command, and the clear command is going to clear off the terminal. That's very useful. So another useful thing you can do is you can use the ls command to list out the contents of the current directory. So if you type ls and then enter, then it's going to give you the contents of the directory that you're in. So I was just writing this file over here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of it because I don't need it right now. But another thing you can do is you can read files. So you can read files using the cat command. So the command is called cat and then space and then the name of the file you want to read. So there's this readme.txt file right here. If I wanted to read that, I would just type cat and then space and then readme.txt. So the interesting thing about Linux is that it is case sensitive. So if you were to type this in lowercase, then it wouldn't recognize this. So if you do this command cat space readme.txt, then hit enter, then that's going to give you the contents of the file. So if you're using a mouse, you can use the mouse wheel to scroll up and down through the terminal in case that the output goes off of the screen. And you can also scroll the mouse wheel down to get back to where you were. Okay. All right, so user M says okay. So let's do a demonstration of how to finish the Super SSH program one more time, just really quickly for the user who missed out. Okay, so what you want to do is click on the blue Launch Instance button. Okay, so after you've clicked on the Start Instance button, then you want to highlight all of this text right here. So starting at SSH and ending at the port number here, highlight it all, and then right-click and select Copy. After you've done that, go over to the web shell, and then in the web shell, right-click and select Paste. And then what we're going to do is you're going to edit this line right here using your arrow keys and the delete button on your keyboard. So you want to to edit the command so that it looks something like this. So it's going to look something like SSH ctf-player at titan.picoctf.net, and then there's going to be a space and then a -p or a -p and then a port number. So the port number is going to be different for everybody, but it's probably going to be five numbers long. After you've done this, hit the enter key, and then it's going to ask you, are you sure you want to continue connecting? Hold on. I need to adjust the security on the room. Hold on. Okay. All right. So it's going to ask you, are you sure you want to continue connecting? You're going to want to type the word yes and then hit enter. And then it's going to ask you for the password. So it'll ask you if you want, are you sure you want to continue connecting? Type yes and hit enter. And then it's going to ask you for the password. What you want to do is you want to go over to the challenge page, and on the challenge page there's a password over here. Highlight the password, copy the password, and then go back to the web shell, and then paste in the password and hit enter. And then you should see this right here. Let's see, user M says, it says service not known. Okay, so what I want you to do is I want you to hit up on your keyboard. So if you do up and down on the keyboard, it's going to scroll through the different commands that you've previously used in the Linux terminal. What I want you to do is I want you to check whether or not there's an @ symbol here. So an important thing about using SSH is that we have to provide a username and a server name. So it should be CTF player and then the @ symbol and then titan.picoctf.net. Make sure that this is all together and that there are no spaces in between here. So it's CTF player at titan.picoctf.net. So I just want you to make sure that that this is just like this. And after that, you should be able to hit enter, and then it's going to ask you to continue connecting, type yes, and then it's going to ask you for the password. Grab the password from over here, copy, and then paste in the password. You're not going to see anything appear when you paste in the password, that's fine. Hit enter, and then you'll receive your flag over here. Copy the flag, then go over to the challenge description, paste in the flag, and then click on Submit Flag, and then you should be done. Okay, so user M, if you're still having trouble with the challenge, what I can do is I can give you some help after the session is over, and then I can help you out then, okay? But we can do another challenge now, and the next challenge we're going to do is, let's see, over here. Okay, so this challenge is called Obedient Cat. So the next challenge we're going to use to understand downloading and reading files in the Linux terminal is called Obedient Cat, okay? And the Obedient Cat challenge is located over here. What I want you to do is please click on the link for the Obedient Cat challenge, and you should see this over here. So this Obedient Cat challenge, the description says, this file has a flag in plain sight, also known as in the clear. So it's going to ask us, there's going to have a link for us to download the file. the flag file over here. So the first thing you want to do when you're solving this challenge is you want to copy the link. So this download flag, right-click on it, and then select Copy Link. After you've selected Copy Link, go back to your web shell, and if there's a bunch of stuff on your terminal, you can go ahead and type clear and then enter to clear it off. We're going to be using the wget command to download this file. So in Linux, we can use the command wget and then space and then the address for the file in order to download some files. So after you type wget and then space, we can right-click and then select paste. So after we've pasted in the address, we can hit enter. And that's going to download the file to our directory. So you should see this kind of output right here, and the name of the file is flag. We're going to use the ls command to list out the contents of our directory. So just type ls and then enter, and you should see the flag file over here. So does anybody know what command we use to read files in Linux? If you know, type it in the chat. And if you manage to download the file, please type in the chat, I downloaded the file, smiley face. Okay, so user D has it correct. Okay, so the command that we use to download to read files in Linux is called the cat command. So I'm going to make my text a little bit bigger. Okay. So we know the name of the file that we want to read. It's flag. So all we need to do after we've downloaded the file is to use the command cat and then space and then the name of the file, which is file, and then hit enter. Oh, it's not the name of the file is not file, it is flag. It is flag, so cat space flag and then hit enter. And then we have our flag over here. So that's all we need to do for this challenge. We just need to download the file and then read the file. So this is the flag. What we need to do is copy the value of the flag and then right-click, select copy, then go over to the challenge page. So on the challenge page, there's this field right here for submitting your flag. So click into it, and then right-click, select paste. That's going to paste in the value of the flag, and then click on submit flag. Okay, and then it should say that you've finished the challenge. All right, so everybody, if you managed to finish that challenge, please type in the chat, I cat and read, smiley face. If for some reason you were having troubles with that challenge, please let us know what part of the challenge gave you trouble, and we'll try to help you out, okay? So let's go over. So at the web shell, we typed wget and then space and then pasted in the address that we copied from the challenge page, and then we were able to download the file. All right, user D can cat and read, that's great. Press the enter key and then the challenge file will be downloaded to our web shell terminal. So we can use the ls command to list all the files in our current directory. So we use the ls command, and then we see that we saw that the flag file was in our current directory. So to finish the challenge, we need to read the flag file using the cat command. Type cat space flag, then press the enter key, and the challenge's flag string will appear. So this is the flag right here. You just needed to highlight the flag and then copy it and then paste it in to the challenge description page to finish the challenge. So we copy it and then we paste it into the flag submission field here and then click on Submit Flag. Okay, so this is the final challenge we're going to do today, and this one is a bit this one's a bit more complicated, but I'm sure we're going to be able to finish it. This challenge is called Tab Tab Attack. So the last challenge we're going to cover is called Tab Tab Attack, which can be accessed from this URL. So for this final challenge, please navigate to this page right here. And you should see this challenge page. The challenge is called Tab Tab Attack. So the description on the page says, using tab complete in the terminal will add years to your life, especially when you're dealing with long, rambling directory structures and names. And then there's a file over here that we need to interact with to finish the challenge. So everybody, after you've arrived on this page, the first thing you need to do is you need to copy the link for this file over here. It's called adadashashanamu.zip. So highlight it and then right-click and select Copy Link. So after you've done that, go over to your web shell, and in your web shell, if there's a bunch of stuff on your screen and you want to get rid of it, just type clear and then enter, and that's going to clear off the screen. So we need to download the file. Does anybody remember what the command was to download the file? If you're thinking wget, that's the right answer. So we use wget and then space, and then right-click, select paste. And that's going to paste in the address for this file. So after that, hit enter, and that's going to download the file. The file is called adadashashanamu.zip. So this is a zip file, which is a type of compressed file. And what we need to do with zip files before we can get to the files that are inside of it is we need to unzip the file. So the command for unzipping the file using Linux is pretty easy. It's just unzip, the word unzip and then space, and then the name of the file. So I'm going to teach you the tab autocomplete function inside of the terminal. So you type the first couple of letters of a file name, and then what you can do is you can hit the tab key on your keyboard to autocomplete the name of the file. So the tab key on your keyboard is located underneath the escape key, and it should be on the leftmost portion of the keyboard. Hit the tab key, and then you're going to see that the name of the file has auto-completed. This is a very useful thing when you're trying to type the names of really long files. The files with really long names, rather. Okay? So unzip, and then space, and then let me demonstrate it one more time. So type the first two letters, or maybe the first letter of the file name, and then hit the tab key, and it's going to autocomplete the name. Okay? Then hit enter, and a bunch of files are created after you unzip the file over here. So you don't need to worry too much about what exactly is being unzipped over here. So this is really a lot. So what we're going to do is we're going to clear off the terminal, and then we're going to use ls to take a look at what's inside of this directory. So we see here that because the name of this file over here is blue, in this terminal, that means that this is a directory. So a directory is kind of like a location inside of the file system. So I'm going to teach you another thing that you can do with the ls command. So ls, you can add in a flag or an argument to this ls command in order to give it some different output. So this is ls space and then dash l. And if we do this, it's going to give us the files in a list format. So this is not going across, instead it's going up and down. And we can see here that this file is a directory because it's got the D over here. So anything that we do inside of ls and then we see that there's a D here, it means it's a directory. So the next command I'm going to teach you is the command that's used to move into another directory. So to move into another directory, we can use the cd command. So it's going to be cd and then space and then the name of the directory we want to enter. So we type the first two letters of the file name and then we use the tab autocomplete. So we hit the tab key and it's going to autocomplete the name of the directory. So hit enter. And then if we use the pwd command, this is a new one, and this is going to tell you the name of the directory that we're currently in. So if you do pwd, it stands for print working directory, and then hit the enter key. It tells us we're in the /home/yourname-picoctf/adata-shashanamu directory. So what is in this directory? We need to use the ls command to see what's in this directory. So if we type ls and then enter, we see that there's another directory in this directory called almurbalarami. Alurbalarami. So what we need to do is we need to enter this directory as well. So we just need to do cd and then space and then al because that's the first couple letters of this directory, and then we can hit the tab key to autocomplete this. So hit tab to autocomplete the name and then hit enter. And then if we take a look at what's in this directory with ls, we see that there's another directory called ashal-mimil-kala. And we need to enter this directory as well. So we're going to use cd to change directories into this directory. So it's as and then hit tab, and it's going to autocomplete the name of the directory, and then hit enter. If we do, well, I'm going to clear this off. We're getting a bit close to the bottom. So if we do ls, we see that there's another directory in here, and this directory is called Jeff's art on YouTube says, hi, hello, nice to see you. I'm just doing a lesson over here. If you want to learn about how to use Linux, you can stick around. All right, so if we want to enter this directory, we want to use the cd command one more time. So it's cd and then space, and then type the first couple letters of the name. And the name of this directory is asernabitashp. Anyways, so cd and then space, and then the first couple letters, and then hit tab to autocomplete the name, and then hit enter. If we use ls to see what's in this directory, we see that there's another directory in here called mail-kashishi. So we want to enter this directory as well, cd space, and then ma, and then hit tab to autocomplete, and then hit enter. We see that there's another directory in here called Onisiralis. So we can enter this directory just like all the other ones by starting the name and then hitting the tab key. Hitting the tab key. Oh, is this not? Oh, okay. So cd Onisiralis. Okay, so this We have another directory called Laku. We need to enter this directory as well, start the name of it, and then hit tab to autocomplete. And then finally, we have this file right here called Fang of Hyakna Hey Nektamet. Hey Nektamet? Anyways, this file over here. And this is actually a different file than the other files. So everything else was a directory. These were colored in blue. This is an executable file. So if you use the file command, so it's just file and then the name of the file, and hit enter, it's going to tell you what kind of file that you're dealing with. So it says this is a executable file. That means that we're going to have to run this file a different way. So let's clear off the terminal because it's very busy. So in order to run this file, we're going to have to reference the directory we're in. And in Linux, the dot refers to the current directory. So dot and then slash to refer to this directory. And we want to run this file right here. Start typing the first couple letters. So it's ./fa and then hit tab. And that's going to autocomplete the name of the file. Hit enter. And then it's going to give you the flag. It says zap and then the flag over here. All right. So the last thing we need to do to finish this challenge is highlight the flag, then copy it, then go over to picoctf. Inside of the tab attack page over here, there's this flag submission field. Paste in the flag, and then hit the submit flag button over here, and that should finish the challenge. All right. So everybody, if you managed to complete the challenge over here, please type the word tab attack smiley face. All right. So while everybody's finishing the challenge, let's talk about what we did during this challenge over here. So once more, we had to copy the link to our challenge file, then download it to our web shell using the wget command. Okay, so after we did that, and we downloaded the file, we used the ls command to make sure that it's downloaded to our directory. We saw the adadashashanemu.zip file over here. All right, user D has tab attack, that's great. So since this file that we downloaded was a zip file, we need to extract the files from it using the unzip command. So we typed unzip, then space, and then the letters AD. We started the name of the file. And then we pressed the tab key on the keyboard to autocomplete the name of the file. So then we saw that we had the adadashashanemu directory in here. So we used cd to change directories and then enter that directory. And then we saw that there was another directory called Almurbalarami. So we entered that directory as well using cd. And then we saw another directory called Ashala Mimikala. So we entered that one. And then after a long time, we saw the Fang of Hey Nektamet. I don't know how to pronounce these words, but we found this file over here, and then we were able to run the executable file by doing // and then the name of the file, and then we finished it. Okay, so before we finish up, so that was the last challenge of the day. So everybody in your web shell over here, before we do our summary today, let's practice a couple of the commands that we learned today. So ls is going to show you the name of, ls is going to show you the contents of your directory. pwd is going to give you the name of your directory, and the name of the directory is really long because we entered all these other directories. So we can also go back to our home directory. So the home directory is where we start inside of Linux. And we can enter that directory by just typing the cd command. So it's going to be cd by itself, and then hit enter, and that's going to bring you back to your home directory. So if you do pwd again, you're going to see that you're in /home/ your username -picoctf. And using the ls command, you're going to see that you've got your files over here. So does anybody remember what command we used to what command we used to read files? So it's the name of an animal. So there's it's 3 letters and it's the name of an animal, and we use it to read files in Linux. Does anybody remember which command it is? Right. User M has it right. User Tai has it right. It is the cat command. So we just type cat and then space and then the name of the file we want to read. For example, if we want to read this file called flag, it's flag, hit enter, and then we get the contents of the file after we hit the enter key over here. Okay? All right, so let's do a quick summary of what the commands that we learned today, and then we'll finish off today's session. So over here, so we learned about the ls command. The ls command lists the files and directories in the current directory. It can be used with the -l argument to output in a list format, and with the -a argument to include hidden files and directories in the output. These two arguments can be combined to produce both outputs, for example, LA. So here we see the output of ls combined with the L and A flags. So we get a list, and it also shows us some hidden directories and hidden stuff. So we also talked about the cat command. The cat command reads the contents of a file. The name of the file to be read must be supplied as the argument to the command. For example, if we wanted to read a file called example.txt, we would do cat space example.txt. So we also learned the cd command. The cd command, which stands for change directory, changes the current directory to the one specified. The new directory must be supplied as an argument to the command. For example, if we want to go to the downloads directory, we cd and then space and then downloads. We also took a look at the file command. The file command identifies the type of contents for a specified file. The file name must be supplied as an argument to the command. For example, if we run file on a file called picture.jpg, it's probably going to tell us that it's a JPEG picture file. But if we do it on a file that contains text, it's going to tell us that it has ASCII text. So that's just a type of encoding. So you're going to hear these terms a lot, stuff like ASCII, and ASCII just basically refers to text when we're talking about computer files. So we also did the unzip command. So it allows files to be extracted from zip files. The syntax is like this: unzip and then whatever file name .zip. For example, if there's a zip file called zipfile.zip, we just do unzip space zipfile.zip. So what's next? In the next Hacker Frog's After School Linux OS workshop, we're going to continue learning Linux commands with the picoctf. So everybody, we're going to be back on Wednesday. So let me take a look at I wonder if I can bring up my calendar. I can probably just look up October 2024. Okay, so I don't have, is this a real, let me see if, why am I doing this? What am I, okay, so today is the 7th, and the next session is going to be on the 9th, on Wednesday. We're going to be here at the same time, and it's going to be on Wednesday. But thank you very much to everybody for coming by. If you do not need me to help you after the session is over, you can feel free to leave the Zoom call. But for people who need extra help, go ahead and stay on behind. Let's see, for the live stream, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put people on the live stream on the Be Right Back screen while I help out the students, and I'll be back after I help out all the students. So